Hello, welcome to Virtual Worm tutorial number 11. I just wanted to take the time now to continue our discussion from tutorial number 10, in which we were discussing layers and the different cell types and so forth that are on the different layers. I showed you that we could pull up this header window at the bottom of the 3D viewport that allows us to then play with the selection of different layer buttons. One thing I just want to point out is that if you'd like to select individual layers, we left click once on the different layer buttons. If you'd like to select several, you can hold shift and select each of the ones that you'd like to look at, and therefore you can create your own combination of visualizations that you'd like to look at. And then if you want to actually just select all of the layers to view, you can hit the tilde button, which is usually on the upper left corner of your keyboard. And you'll notice that all of the layer buttons are now depressed and have been selected to view. So we can see all of the cells here. In the last tutorial I showed you all of the cells and tissues that exist on all of the different layers. And one layer I didn't mention was layer number 16 right here. And if you notice, there's a little kind of a little black mark in each of these layers, but not the last four. That indicates that there's actually something there to see. There are some objects in that layer that can be made visible. So I have C. elegans tissues and cells on each of layers 1 through 15, and then on layer 16 I actually have a special series of just hit that again. Series of buttons, series of objects, and what they are actually these are actually, what I have here are scale cubes. So we want to have some sort of sense of the scale of the of C. elegans. So it's actually a tiny worm. It's only about 1 millimeter in length. Fully grown, large adults will be stretched out just over 1 millimeter in length. And so I've got a millimeter scale cube here, and then I've got a 100 micron cube. I also have a 10 micron cube and a 1 micron cube. And we could keep going smaller, and these are all based on Blender units. So if I actually right click on one of these, if I press the N key, we'll actually pull up the transform properties, and this will actually tell us in terms of Blender units how large this cube is. So it's actually 10 Blender units. So just to give you an idea of the scale, if you ever want to know the size of something, or you want to make your own scale bars, which we can talk about later, there is a direct relationship between Blender units, which are each of these little boxes, and the scale cubes that we have here. If we move them around, you can see that actually, if we say shift to our front view, you can see the scales bars from multiple dimensions, top, side, and front. Okay, so let's just get back to our worm. I'm going to actually just hold shift and then left click each of these layers to just deselect them. Okay, and then just to recenter ourselves, I'm going to hit shift B and do this border select to zoom, and now we can get back to our worm. Now, one of the advantages of having these different tissues on different layers is that, of course, you can select a layer and then just start browsing or looking through just the cells on that particular layer. But another option is to, I'm going to actually select all and make them transparent. Another option is to actually select all in, when you're looking at all of the cells, you can select all by layer. So once you become familiar with what tissues are on which layers, we can select everything that's on a single layer. So we know layer number 5, for example, is the intestine and associated valves. So I'll click on that, select all under the select menu, click opaque, and now we can see everything that was on layer 5 opaque, with everything else being transparent. And then we can explore those in the context of the other transparent cells. Okay, so in this tutorial I just showed you the scale cubes on layer 16 and how we can view those, how we can select individually or multiple layers, and I use tilde to select all layers, and we can select all by layer under this menu. Okay, see you next time.